Ravens flock, what's up? This is We Bleed Purple podcast, and this is one of the best weeks of the year. This is Steelers week, week 14. They will be playing at the bank this coming Sunday. Daniel Wilcox and Matt Trigger. Daniel, I know that this is one of my favorite episodes of the year that we do, and I know a lot of your fondest memories with the Ravens have come at the expense of playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll talk a little bit about that as we move on. But the Ravens, 6-6. This game is for first place in the division, and we are a little banged up at practice this week. Lamar Jackson missed a couple of days with the knee injury. Nate Wiggins is back, but he's still a little banged up. So um, let's just dive right into it. This is one of the most hard hitting rivalries in football. Um, you lived it for a half decade.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting here thinking, like, is it really, man? Like, is it really hard hitting anymore? Like, I was I was listening to Michael Irvin talking the other day, and he was talking about how guys are trying to compare how when we play to how they play right now, and he was so upset. It's such a violent sport. When I played the game, you go across the middle of the field. Now y'all playing 2-hand touch. Y'all don't even practice hard no more. He was just going in, and you start like the game is still a violent game. Like it's not. It's not 2-hand touch. It's still a violent game. You still seeing guys hit, guys getting concussed, and guys getting knocked out of the game. They're just trying to do everything they can to try to prolong the game and keep the stars on the field. So I can't be mad. Plus the concussion lawsuit stuff is major for the NFL. So they're trying to do everything they can to keep money in their pockets. And you can't blame them for that. But the game is a fraction of what it was. It's not 100%, I'm going to take, bounty gate and take guys out and try to put guys on stretchers and stuff intentionally like we used to. This is definitely a different game from when we used to play. And it still is going to be a violent game. It's still going to be a very physical game. To me, this is a game that, somebody should always get kicked out of. If it's really a Ravens Steelers game, somebody should get expelled, kicked out of the game, done, sent to the locker room, ejected. That's a real Ravens Steelers game. So if it comes down and you see one of those, they actually kick somebody out of the game for hitting somebody for unnecessary roughness, now we talking, and you still see those penalties every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then is right. Like you said, the game isn't violent the way it used to be. And I know it's in the name of player safety and the like. I wanted to ask you though, what is your biggest memory playing Pittsburgh that you can recall from your time with the Ravens?
Honestly, I don't remember much. I want to say what I can remember. I remember my very first play in the NFL. I think I was with the New York Jets, and we played the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and it was the worst play of my whole career. My very first play of the game. My very first NFL play was a special teams play, and I ran onto the field, and I was late. Some kind of way I was late, Matt. So what happened was everybody stood up. They had to go in on 4th down so we can go block this punt and have a punt return. Craig Yeast returner. And I remember getting up, getting ready to go on the field. And then for some reason, I thought that they had got the 4th down, or they went for a trick play, or they brought the offense on the field. It probably was one of those situations where they keep the offense out there and then they fake like they're going to, run a play and they don't. I went back and sat down like an idiot rookie. I didn't really know what was going on. So I thought they was going to run a play. They didn't run a play. And then we had to rush out on the field real fast. And we only had 10 guys on the field. Cox's ass was sitting on the bench because I thought they was going for it. I ended up getting up, running on the field without my helmet on. Once I heard them calling me, I'm erratic. I grab my helmet. I'm putting it on as I run. I'm trying to buckle my chin strap as I run on the field. I go to the edge of the line on the punt return line, and I put my hand down, and I'm in the 3-point stance. I was rushing off the edge. I had been killing everybody on the Jets team. They couldn't stop me from blocking the punts. So, Mike Westhoff, who's still probably arguably today the best special team coach in the history of the NFL, he trusted me enough to get out here and do this thing. And now I got him very first play I'm out there, I'm screwing up. As soon as I put my hand in the ball snaps. When the ball snaps, I take off to go block the punt. I didn't know that the wings could block me. I mean, could cut me. The
Mhm.
dude put his helmet right in my thigh as I put my foot in the ground to try to do my upper under move. He put his helmet right in my thigh. I literally flipped upside down, came down on top of my head, got up. I was disoriented. I couldn't remember which side the punt return call was on because I got there so late. And I'm trying to figure it out as I ran. So I ran right first. Then I realized I was supposed to go back left. So I ran all the way back left, and I'm getting ready to until my take this dude head off. And then Craig used to return the ran right into me. It would have been a touchdown if I hadn't ran into him.
Oh
We ran
shit.
into each other. Yeah, I say we ran into each other, but if you ask him, he probably say I ran him. If you ask me, I me. But I was coming
That's fair.
around to crack block the guy because this was back when crack block was illegal. You could blindside somebody.
Mhm.
The guy was running and Craig had set him up, so he had bounced back out to the left. And here I come around to the right, just so I could try to put my head right on the inside of this guy to take him out to make this killer block. And then Craig ran right into my left shoulder, stumbled and fell down and didn't score. And if he hadn't hit me, he would have probably scored a touchdown. I should have went next level. I shouldn't have kept running for that guy. He was going to outrun that guy anyway. I really just got in the way and up the whole damn punt return. And then, I mean, needless to say, that was my last play for a couple of weeks. It was against Pittsburgh, though. It was against Pittsburgh. That was my worst play ever in the NFL. And it was my very first snap as an NFL player. So it wasn't indicative of what my career turned out to be. But it definitely was I guess, one of those welcome to the NFL type moments. You got to be ready for everything. Always be prepared. You always got to prepare like you're a starter. You can't ever prepare like you're a backup, and you got to be ready and alert at all times. And they always say the beauty is in the detail, and they say the attention to detail is so important in the NFL. So it's one of those things where I just missed a little tiny minute detail, and it almost screwed my whole NFL career up. That's what I remember. Exactly, Joe. Welcome to the league, Rook.
I wanted to
Dude
ask.
cut me so hard. I had a thigh bruise. Man, I couldn't walk for the next week and a half. I had a big bruise on my inside.
Hey, you live and you learn, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you this because I pay attention to the social media aspect of the fandom between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. You lived it for
Yeah.
a long time. Um, do you think that the rivalry has lost its luster with guys like Suggs and Ray and Palomalu and Roethlisberger now being retired? Do you believe that
Mm-hmm.
it's not as intense because the hatred necessarily isn't as deep with these two teams the way it was in your era?
Um, I definitely think some history is there. I think there's still some hatred there because you got guys like Elliott that went over there, guys like Patrick that went over there was former Ravens. We never had
Mhm.
to experience anything like that as players. We never had our teammates go to the rival team and try to play against us. I don't remember that ever happening. But James Harrison used to be a Raven before he was a Steeler. I
Yeah.
played with James Farrier in New York before he was a Steeler. So I still had that type of edge to me or that type of vibe for me when I went in there to play these teams. Like I just, James was my teammate in the NFL Europe. We played a half season together in Europe, and then he went to the Steelers. I went to the Ravens, and so I mean, the rivalry I think is always going to be there, and it's always going to be some hard fought stuff there because of Mike Tomlin, because of John Harbaugh has so much history as well. So I think it's still a big rivalry. I think the coaches alone could keep that energy going if nobody else can.
That's a fair assessment, but, for everybody that's watching right now, we have a guest coming on, a good friend of mine. He was a guest of the show last year, Daniel. He did our Philadelphia Eagles
Mhm.
week. He has a very, very, very popular, Baltimore Orioles, and Baltimore sports YouTube show, Pigtown Sports. Let's welcome in Zach Moore. Zach, welcome back to the show, brother.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Great, Zach. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm alive and kicking. Live
Man,
and kicking. How's
I
everybody
like
doing?
your setup back there. I like the purple, man. I need to get that accent going myself.
Yeah. It's just, dude, like $20 floodlights right on the Amazon.
Okay, say less. I'm jumping in.
Yeah, man. So, Zach, we were just Daniel was just kind of talking about the Ravens to Steelers rivalry if it's lost any luster, and from a former player's perspective, being as though
Mhm.
All the Ravens and Steelers legends are now moved on, but Wilcox did mention that, Deshaun Elliott's over there, Malik Harrison's over there, James,
Queen.
Patrick Queen's over there. So there still is a little bit of animosity, but I don't feel like it's nearly as intense as it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like since like Roethlisberger retired, like it's almost like a boring series now. Like I hate to even
Yeah.
say that, but like the superstars
Right.
it's just not there enough. Like yeah, they have TJ Watt, but I mean outside of that, like we have Kyle
Well,
Hamilton. Like those stars just aren't there anymore to really like beef up this like rivalry. To me, at least, I don't know. Like the guys you
yeah.
mentioned, yeah, like they could, like you said, add a little spice, add a bit of flair to it. But like nationally, like nobody cares. Like that, it's just the stars just aren't there anymore to just grab that national attention like a Ravens and Bengals game would.
Yeah. I think a lot of it also has to do with um it's not as physical as a game as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like hardest hitting games, you see quarterbacks get their damn spleen damn near busted out in this game. You always see big hits. I mean, this the game Ed Reed got hurt, almost ended his career. He hurt his neck in this game with Hines Ward cracked back on him. This the game Willis McGahee, he got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like these games have always been such big games, like big ass games, and the hits were so brutal that people couldn't wait to tune in. I mean, this was a bloodbath. This was like modern warfare. Every time you watch these two teams played, and you just don't get those type of hits anymore. It's illegal. All those hits that we used to have back in the day are all illegal now. So I think that's a part of it as well. When you look at Ravens, I feel like we got an all-star cast of Henry. We got Lamar Jackson. We got Kyle Hamilton. Like you still got some freaking studs, on offense and on the defensive side of the ball that can make you tune in. Like Roquan Smith is, I don't know how he would be in the old times. I watched him play at Georgia. He was a damn dog at Georgia. When he got to the league, it just kind of got it seemed like it's getting tapered back almost every year. And he's just tackling guys now. He's not smashing or hitting guys. It's not like smash mouth football, but there's still a lot of, I think, talent there. Of course, I mean, they just when they got DK Metcalf, I have no idea why they got rid of Pickens. They should have kept both of those guys, but to each his own.
Yeah. Did you guys happen to see James Harrison's podcast the other night?
I did not.
No.
So he basically was saying that like Tomlin's just not good enough to coach, like regardless of if he hasn't had a quarterback or not. Like they basically just said like even when he played there, Tomlin wasn't good enough. Like he was riding the coattails of Dick LeBeau. Like it was really shocking to hear. If I find the link, I'll have to send it to you guys. But he was
I
like,
gotta check that out.
now that like Dick LeBeau's not there, and like he was talking about his linebacker coach, and I don't remember his name, but he was like, now that these guys are gone, like Tomlin's by himself, and he just can't do it. And like he was ripping him, and I was really shocked to hear it.
I also saw that Roethlisberger came out and said he came out on his show and Wilcox and Roethlisberger said that he thinks that Tomlin should go to Penn State.
Yeah, he said he's more of a recruiter than he is a coach.
That he can be an inspirational guy, but there's been multiple big name Steelers players that have spoken out against Mike. And I'll preface this by saying that it's very well known on the show, Zach, that Wilcox played for Tomlin when Tomlin was on Gruden's staff in Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, there's an affinity there. There's a mutual respect there. And, I can tell by Wilcox's reaction that he's never really heard anybody speak poorly of
player-wise,
of Tomlin in such a public forum.
Yeah. I think the thing is for me to hear somebody like James say that,
right?
Like I have to respect it. Like I can't not respect it. I don't care who it is. Like to hear James was my teammate over in NFL Europe. So we played almost half a season together, and he's a character, man. Like James is a real freaking character. Like we the one gave him the nickname Debo. When we was in Germany, like bro, you remind me of Debo all day long. And he used to play the character all the time, and it was so funny, when he did it because he actually felt like you was talking to the real Debo. And he's such an explosive player and such a high energy type of guy, even though he's so like even killed. he's a high energy guy when he plays. So I would think hearing somebody like James Harrison say that Mike Tomlin was riding the coattail of Dick LeBeau and all that type of stuff, I think you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like I think you have to really like listen to what he's saying and not ignore it. So my experience with Mike, he was phenomenal, but he was a position coach. He wasn't a head coach. Being a head coach is totally different, from being a coach. Being a head coach, you have to be able to deal with all these different personalities on your coaching staff, all the different personalities of players. And the thing I've heard Mike say that I really love, and it was when he was on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and those guys, he was talking about coaching and coaching guys up. And I think that's the art that's actually missing in the NFL, because my experience, I never had a coach until I got to Baltimore. When I got in the NFL, I had good coaches, but they didn't coach me up on the tight end position until I got to Baltimore. I had O linemen. They used to be O linemen. They trying to teach me how to block, but they couldn't teach me anything about running routes at all. So it was one of those things where, I don't know, you pick your poison. So I think Mike does do a good job of trying to lead men. And for some reason, it's been like one catastrophe after another with the receiving core, the Antonio Browns, the George Pickens. He has a good quarterback since Roethlisberger retired. I don't know what's that about, but usually that says something about the organization if they don't get you a quarterback. They know you can't win in this league without a QB.
Right. Yeah.
It's always tough because you don't want, as a fan, Wilcox, that we don't want any excuses for when we beat Pittsburgh. Oh, they don't have a QB. Oh, this person's hurt. Oh, that person's hurt. Oh, they're having a down year. When we
they
beat
beat
these
us for
dudes,
years when we had freaking your favorite QB. They didn't care about this shit, Cal Bowling. They beat the shit out of us for years. They didn't say shit. Right. It is what it is. If they don't have a QB, it's on them.
They were excited when they beat Trace McSorley too.
They were.
They were really excited. They were excited when they beat Huntley. I mean,
yeah.
This is like one of my favorite games of the year because it for the longest time, Wilcox, and I know that you've heard this probably a million times over. Records don't matter when we step on the field with these guys.
No.
These, there's a lot at stake now because this meeting and the next meeting can essentially determine the AFC North because we play them again in Week 18. So this determines who goes to the playoffs. And with the way both of us are playing right now, whoever loses Week 18, or essentially whoever loses Sunday, probably doesn't go to the playoffs because we're not getting a wild card spot. One team from the North is making the playoffs this year. There's no way you're going to see two teams from the AFC North unless half the other teams in the AFC just have a massive fallout in the last month of the season. That's just the way it's shaken this year. But there's a lot of implications to this. And does Lamar Jackson missing? I know we talked about this a lot last couple games, Wilcox. Lamar's missing a lot of practice right now. Do you believe that that's an issue this late in the year, or is it just standard for the grind and the wear and tear of a grueling season?
No, I think Lamar is dealing with a bunch of injuries. So what happens when you get injured, something else overcompensates for that injury. So you end up action effect, So I've heard the ankle, I've heard the knee, I've heard the hamstring, I've heard all these things. And I remember when I hurt my toe, that caused me to have ankle problems. That caused me to have arch problems. That caused me to have calf muscle problems. I end up having hamstring issues just from a toe. So I think Lamar is kind of dealing with the same thing. If it was a toe thing that he really injured, because I heard something about a toe as well. If it really was a toe issue, then that definitely makes him overcompensate because it makes him run differently. It makes him move differently. He walks differently, runs differently. So he's activating muscles that he normally don't use. Those muscles get tightened up and they're more likely to get pulled. So you got to stay super hydrated and stay focused on therapy and training and treatment and stuff as much as possible. And you can overdo anything, believe it or not.
That makes a lot of sense. A lot. It's good that you provide that insight, Wilcox, because a lot of people are just thinking, oh, he's hurt or he's banged up from getting hit a lot, as Kenny just said. But when, as a former player, when you break it down, like one body part injury, you overcompensate and then you're activating muscles. Most common fans aren't thinking of that. That's the last thing
No,
that
I
we're
mean,
thinking about.
Have they
You know,
said what
100.
side it is? Like
They
the toe, the ankle, hamstring, all that?
they haven't said what side, but I said this to Wilcox when Lamar initially started missing some games, Zach. There was a play in Buffalo in week 1 where Lamar took off up the right sideline in the middle of the game, and he got tackled, and somebody, like, dove on his legs and, like, rolled over him completely to where his legs kinda
I
smashed
remember,
together
yeah.
under him, and I think that's what set this whole thing in motion. Like, that might be me just kinda honing on, like, one of my memories of that particular part of the game, but it
Yeah,
makes sense because he hasn't had the
been
explosiveness
the
now,
same since Buffalo.
but this
Yeah,
past game, I think he took off a couple times just to kinda show people like, "Hey, I still got the twitchiness," I it's making me think that he's hurt even more now, guys, because he's missing throws that are normally easy completions for him. The ball's
Yeah.
floating a little bit, or the touch is just a bit off. And I attribute a lot of it to the offensive line, Wilcox. You and I have been harboring resentment for this offensive line all year long. And I just don't think he has the trust to set his feet and actually step into a throw confidently because he's gonna get taken out of his cleats if he actually, sets his feet and throws the ball, he's getting killed. Like this,
yeah,
he's getting
Yeah,
hit
that's what I
from
was
all.
asking too, like what leg it is. Like, is it the front leg that actually steps, into the throw? Is it but the toes bother him or the ankles bother him? Can he land on it properly? Or is it the back
right.
drive leg? Is he not getting enough drive behind the ball? Like
Mhm,
that all comes into play, especially with a quarterback. Like if that ankle
right.
and toe are bothering you, especially on the same damn foot, like
And
what can you really do?
and Wilcox, I know you've said on the show multiple
He's right.
times, and we've
Exactly right.
talked about it over the years, just in conversation. When you said that your toe was bothering you, you couldn't fire off the line of scrimmage out of a
Right.
3-point stance the right way. Even when you were split out in either in the slot or you were going wide or in motion, you still had to kind of shift your weight differently because you couldn't put the proper pressure on it. And you guys are
Right.
all world class athletes at that given point in your career, so that's got to be crazy that you got to think about how you're going to push off because you can't do what comes natural to you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, at the tight end position, you're really like an offensive lineman slash receiver. It's like a weird position. Like it's so hard to get in the point stance, then get in the 2-point stance, to stand up and then run a route like a receiver, or to be in the 3-point stance and not put much weight on your front hand, and you're trying to release on a route. Because you really want to get out fast. Like if you talk in track, you talk to put all your weight on your front hand so that you can fall forward when you come out of your stance and then get a fastest start as you can. At tight end, you can't put no weight on your front because then you tip off the defense going on a route. Because when you're going to pass set, they're going to sit back on your heels versus being on your hands. So you got to make your pass set look like a block, look like a route when you're in a 3-point stand, which is almost impossible to do. So you have to learn how
Yeah.
to put your weight on the inside balls of your feet, which your toe is the main part of that, the inside balls of your feet or your feet. So as you put that weight on the inside balls of your feet, if you got anything going on with your toes at all, that limits you from being able to get out of your stance quick or fast.
Right.
And it is in this league, if you don't get out of your stance quick, you're sitting freaking duck. If they get hands on you before you get your hands on them, it's a wrap.
Yep.
You can hang it up, So I knew exactly what Zach was hitting at earlier when he was talking about which foot it was when he first asked it. Because if Lamar drops back, he has to plant on his right foot every time he plants so he can push off. If it's the right toe, then he has nothing to push off on because that right toe is going to rotate in so that he can push off to go forward. So if that's the issue, then that will make him throw some balls high because he can't push off his back foot to get the
Right.
follow through with the actual throw itself. So I knew exactly what Zach was hitting at. And I mean, it's a perfect analogy, Zach, of thinking about, the mechanics of footwork that goes on with a quarterback and him having to roll left or roll right, or even, reverse pivot out, so you probably saw him in the shotgun a lot more than versus on the center because it's hard to
Right.
push off on the center too, and you actually, if it's the back foot, most likely he's on the center. That back foot will be the toe that'll be up in the back that
Yeah,
he'll actually step back with to try to get out from the center, and then to make it a lot harder for him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
that's tough, man. But
And get stepped on again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that flat foot motherfucker doesn't. Excuse my. Yeah. I don't. You know,
Matthew, come on, buddy.
my mother calls me Matthew. My mother calls me Matthew. My wife calls me Matthew when
Come on, buddy.
I almost went there. I almost went there because Wilcox, you and I talk about this every day that we talk Ravens. Falele is the worst offensive lineman to start for this team in a very long time, and it's atrocious.
I don't remember anybody worse than him. To be honest with you,
it was really close with Villanueva.
Yeah,
Villanueva. Okay,
yeah,
you got a point. You got a point.
But the
only thing with Falele has upside though. He has upside. You know,
can we see it anytime soon?
But probably won't.
The audacity of the Ravens to put on their Instagram story, vote Daniel Falele to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
I was ready to unfollow them right then and there. The audacity was insane. Yeah. I'm like, you guys are
PPF. No,
no, that is such a joke, nerds.
PPF, no, PPF. I'm just saying.
PPF is ranked the worst in football, isn't he?
Yeah.
No,
they ranked
them.
He was ranked high earlier in the year.
He was the number one.
Yeah, early in the year, maybe before the season started.
I don't know how those that like he was the worst guard from day one. He was. He was giving up so many damn sacks early on. It was crazy.
I think he's ranked 38th out of 32 teams. And I'm not kidding.
Dang, that's crazy.
So I wanted to. We've been kind of going through the physical and mental and emotional aspect of the Ravens Steelers rivalry, and we're gonna get to the game in a minute. I wanted to ask your opinion, Wilcox, because Zach and I had this conversation when the announcement was made. Mark Andrews, 3 years, $40 million, starting next year. 2 questions.
3 years for the tight ends, baby. 3 years for the tight ends. Let's go. And y'all thought Mark was out of here.
I thought Mark was out of here. I thought Mark was out of here.
Baltimore did.
Y'all was trying to get rid of him at the break.
Two questions.
Most of Baltimore was trying to get rid of him last year. Buffalo.
2 questions, Wilcox. First question is, do you believe Isaiah Likely is not going to be a Raven next year?
No, I think Likely's coming back. I think he'll be back. I think the Ravens be a fool to let. I think they'll be a fool to let him go.
Okay, devil's advocate. They let him test the free agent market.
Why would
you think Likely? I mean, are you gonna put a lot of money into the tight end position when you've now given Mark Andrews at the end of this contract? You've given Mark Andrews just shy of $90 million to play football for the Ravens over the course of his career. Rookie contract, first extension, second extension.
Correct.
Likely, if he hits free agency in March, Likely's getting 4 for $60 from Indy, New England, the Chargers, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. Somebody's going to pay him crazy money for the upside.
I agree.
But like, do you really think the Ravens will sink roughly $30 million in annual average money in one position? When
it comes down to who's his agent? Who's his agent?
See, that's unknown thing.
Find out.
Because he turned down a 4 year. He turned down 4 years and $55 million in June or early July.
Likely did.
Likely turned down a 4-year, $55 million extension before the season started. And he bet on himself, and he's not having a very good year. Now, that has a lot to do with the injury. That has a lot to do with
that fumble last week.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely's represented by Eric Burkhart, Rock Nation Sports.
Yeah, so he's a Jay-Z client.
Yeah,
say less. He's out.
Yeah,
he's on the first thing smoking in the Bentley.
So I will say that Pittsburgh has $12 million dumped into both of their tight ends, so they have 24. Why wouldn't it be against the Ravens to go at 30? Which I think both of those guys are better than both of the guys in Pittsburgh.
They are. There's no doubt about that.
Do you franchise tag him?
I'm telling you what I would do. I would keep Likely. I would keep Andrews. Those are 2 guys I would not let go. You know, Zay Flowers is a guy I would definitely have to keep. And then I would have to that receiver is up for grabs for me. You know, Bateman, Hopkins, whoever
I'd
else,
trade Bateman.
Walker. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I keep Zay. Zay is a must for me. Andrews likely are a must for me. I'm keeping Patrick Ricard. He's the only fullback / tight end I got, so he's like my third tight end no matter what. You know, and then I got, you know, you got to talk about Henry and Keaton. I think I let Henry ride and I take Keaton. You know, after those two guys, I keep Keaton and let Henry go. But if I get to keep both of them, I keep both of them.
Well, Henry's here for he's here for this year and next year.
Yeah.
You know, his contract was a 2-year extension. Now let me ask you this: what if hypothetically speaking, if you give Likely big money?
What if you just franchise tag him? What's that? 18-3?
Yeah,
for 1 year.
For 1 year. But what do you do with Charlie Kohler?
Give him a $9 million deal.
You think Charlie?
I let Charlie ride
and go find somebody else.
If I could get him cheap, I'll get him cheap. But if I can't, I let him ride and just bring somebody else in young.
Because I'm not comparing you to Kohler, Wilcox, but Kohler does for this team. Kohler does for this team what Billick asked you to do for this team, with the exception of playing.
I don't feel like that.
He plays teams.
I don't feel like that.
He plays teams.
He plays all of them.
He plays all 4 teams.
He's also the backup tush push guy.
Yeah. He plays all 4 phases.
I think if I hands Ricard over Kohler, I think Ricard is the one I keep.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's not a like I told you how this thing down, Matt. So Zach, I always try to express to Matt like how the team actually keeps the players. Like they literally rate the players from number 1 to number 53 to the 53-man roster. That's how they make the roster. And then they actually choose which players they think is the best player on the team, the second best, the third best, the fourth best. And that's how you're going to do this. So as you're going through that list, Pat Ricard got to be in that 20 to 30 area versus Kohler got to be closer to that 53. So when you're sitting down trying to think about which one you're going to keep, it's a no freaking brainer because Pat can play all your special teams if you need him. He can play fullback. He can play D-line. He can play tight end. He can play whatever you need him to play. You know, and I'm be quite frankly right now with you, Matt. I'm surprised Pat ain't taking some reps at the line right now
at guard
because we struggle. Yeah, we struggle at guard too. Shit, because we've been struggling interior all year.
Right, it's true. I mean,
I think the Ravens. I think they said the Ravens have 80. If they get an extension done with Lamar, they'll have 80 million in cap space next year. If they don't, it's 40.
And that's crazy, Wilcox. If Lamar goes into next year without a new deal, he's going to be 80 million against our cap. That's
like 77 or something like that.
Yeah, it's 25% of the whole cap for. I think he's going to sign an extension. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going
to. That's the player you need to be talking about right there.
Yeah,
to me, like if I'm Lamar, like I'm trying to debate if I even want to stay here.
Well, they just gave your best friend a contract extension.
Yeah, that helps. I think it might have been like him and Andrews are tight.
Who's his best friend? Andrews?
Yeah.
His on the field best friend.
Got you.
Now let me ask you this though, Wilcox.
I think I'm out if I'm Lamar.
And the thing is, I wouldn't be mad at him. I would be pissed as a Ravens fan that Lamar would want to leave. But seeing this bullshit go on the last 3-4 years, I wouldn't blame him if he wants out.
I don't think he can leave, right?
Well,
he can't either. I don't think he can either. I don't think his contract allowing me to. But I'm saying like as soon as he signed with a 5 or a 6 year deal.
It was 5. I
think it was 5-2-40.
I think he's 3 years into a 5-year extension.
Right.
I think he signed in
2026. He's $74 million cap hit. 27, he's a $74 million cap hit, and then 28 is so he's only under contract through 27. Yeah, then it's two void years.
So he's essentially here 2 more years. Now, while we're talking about free agents, not to get too far off into this, do you, out of the big 3 free agents that aren't the tight ends, you got Linderbaum, you got Zay Flowers, and you got Travis Jones. Out of those 3, what 2 do you keep? Because I know I'm all for Travis Jones. That's my guy. I've been beating on. Do you keep Travis Jones and Zay? Do you keep Zay and Linderbaum? Do you keep Linderbaum and I mean I know you were saying Zay's a must. So I think Zay's a must.
Zay and Linderbaum's a no-brainer for me. You know, my
So-
starting center, you know, who's protected the hell out of Lamar every year until you got these two idiots beside him. You know, and then Zay. I mean, Zay is a freaking dude, dog. I mean, I still don't think we use Zay the right way. You know, like he could definitely be used a lot better than what we do. You know, and that's a Monken thing. That's not nobody else's fault. That's Monken's fault that we don't use him the way that he should be used. You know, so to me, I can't let Linderbaum go with a quarterback like Lamar. You got to keep your best lineman. He's probably your best lineman next to Stanley. You know, so what do you think? I mean, I love Travis Jones too, but shit, bye Travis. Shit.
You know,
Lamar's market value is a 4-year, $253 million extension.
4-year, $253 million for Lamar.
63.3 a year is his market value.
Woo.
Must be nice.
That's not a bad suggestion right there, Wilcox. Would you bring in Petrino to replace Monken?
No. He's been out of the game too long.
Petrino's he's the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
Yeah, but like I'm talking like he's been out of that game with that style of quarterback for too long. Like the guys in college move, but they're not Lamar Jackson. And the NFL is just different. It's just different. Do I like Monk? He's whatever.
I really think you need somebody.
Yeah, you gotta go younger.
I hear you, Zach. I'm with you 100%. The biggest issue I've had when I was coaching was that you hire a bunch of guys that can't relate to the guys playing.
Right.
And you need guys that can relate. And nowadays, if you can't listen to these guys, you know, then you're really in the wrong spot. By the time you get to the NFL, you know, these guys know exactly what they're really good at, you know, especially quarterbacks, right? So it's like you come in and you sit down with Lamar Jackson and say, what's your favorite freaking plays? And you make sure those shits first, and then you build around that shit. But what you don't do is come in and say, hey, this is my offense. You're going to run it. Lamar, you're going to love this. I'm going to shotgun. I'm going to put you in the wing. I'm going to put you out at wide receiver. I don't want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like have a coach that comes in that understand the talent that he has and then work around that talent. Like to me, Isaiah Likely Andrew should never really come off the field. Zay Flowers should never really come off the field. Henry should never really come off the field. And then you should add whoever that fifth guy is around those guys. You know, your Patrick Ricards, your Keaton Mitchells, you know, and your Batemans, your Walkers, your 16. I love 16, Tylen Wallace. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys, you know. So to me, you bring all those guys in, but those four guys should be the nucleus of your offense. And I can't say enough of having the type of running backs that we have, and we don't run the fucking ball at all. That shit blows my mind, you know. And when I look at this season, running the ball would have fixed this entire season this year. And you had the nucleus to do it. You don't have to worry about Flele back pass blocking for your quarterback, getting them hurt, or Voorhees. You know, you could have waited till Arthur Smith got the other kid. Arthur got healthy to come back at the other guard to be able to help you. And the whole time that kid was out, I'd have been having him practice at right and left guard. You know, it ain't no way in the hell you're gonna come back and just take Voorhees out like he was the worst of the two guards. It's crazy to me. You know, at least Voorhees gave you energy and gave you a lot of energy, high energy and movement, and trying to get in the way. Fucking Flele, he been Fleleing around all year. It's crazy.
Yep.
Hey, Wilcox, your boy Trippy's in the comments, man. The one that leaned on Marlon in that
Trippy, we need to get Trippy on the show too. We need to get him to come on one day, for sure. What did he say?
Yeah.
Trippy make it electric in here for you.
Yeah, Trippy will definitely make it electric, man. He's saying redo the whole interior line. He said Bateman's trash. He said
Bateman is a really good trade candidate, in my opinion, because he has a very favorable contract, and he's still good enough to fleece a team for a second or probably a third rounder, but you could probably get somebody to throw a 2 at you for him. So just because of how favorable that contract is, he's definitely a trade candidate.
Yeah, he's under $10 million a year.
Yeah.
You know, he's
decent at time. He's decent enough to fetch you a 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I just want to see Tez Walker get some more shot.
Yes.
Me too. Tylen Wallace too. I'm a Tylen Wallace fan.
Yeah.
I think that kid is solid.
Gets open. The dude gets open. And
I think he's a solid receiver for us, and he's tough as
one
nails.
ball in his career.
Yeah, and he's always good for a random 100-yard game in one time in the season.
I think that one drop was probably last week or the week before.
Down.
Right. He's always, every time he got the ball in his hand in past games, he's always made big plays. And to me, when you see guys that got that type of energy around the ball, you got to figure out ways to get the ball in their hands more often.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Tripp, we'll get you on, bro.
Yeah, we can definitely get Trippy on here for sure.
I think Tylan Wallace is everything James Prochet was supposed to be.
Right.
That's true.
See, I love Prochet. I didn't think he was a Raven. I never thought he was a Raven. And they asked me, and I didn't have the heart to tell them when they asked me, because that was the year I was with the Ravens when they was actually recruiting him. I thought it was a couple of other receivers that was better than him. Michael Pittman was one of them, but that we had down at the Senior Bowl that year. And I thought Pittman was probably I thought Pittman was the number 2 receiver there. The kid that went to Pittsburgh at first, the big light-skinned kid.
Claypool?
I thought Claypool, Chase.
Okay.
I thought Chase was the number 1 receiver that year. I thought Pittman was the number 2 guy. I thought Prochet was like right in that 5 area. There was another kid that went to Baylor that I thought was really, really dynamic, that he never turned out to be very good. But I thought with the right team and the right staff and the right offense, he would have been really good.
Yeah.
It's wild because Pittman's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. And Pittman would be like the perfect complement to Zay. But, Pittman's going to get $30 million a year from somebody.
Right.
Might be Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it could be.
You're going to have to move on.
Yeah,
it makes sense. That's what his dad played at Tampa for a long time. His dad was a superstar in Tampa.
Yeah.
I played with his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a running back, monster running back.
Yeah, arms bigger than my legs.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Big ass arms. Him and Thomas Jones, both of them. I had both of them down there.
Yeah.
Didn't
Bob Sanders have like incredible arms too?
Bob Sanders, the DB?
Yeah, the safety.
Yeah, I don't remember him being that big. He played in Indy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember him being that big.
Maybe he got bigger after he retired.
I tell you, had big ass arms, DeMarcus Ware.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, his arms are like the size of my waist.
Ridiculous.
But let's getting back on track to the game Sunday.
Okay.
We're celebrating the Super Bowl 35 team.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of the guys are already in town. It's a really big weekend in Baltimore. Ray Lewis's casino event is tomorrow night. The 35 champions are going to be in town. And the last time we had a Super Bowl, a Super Bowl reunion, the Ravens went out there and did their thing. That was week 2 against the Cleveland Browns. I had a lot of the Super Bowl guys there, Wilcox. So that being said, first place on the AFC North is on the line. Both teams 6-6. This is the part of the show. This is the part of the show where we like to do. Zach, I know you're a loyal listener and viewer of the show. We're gonna let you go first. Give us your offensive player of the game, defensive player of the game, and give us a score prediction for Sunday afternoon.
I'll go with Lamar on the offensive side. I know that that radio host kind of pissed him off a little bit. I think he's going to come out firing. Yeah.
What happened? Tell me, Zach, what happened? Elaborate.
He said something like Lamar, we're just now finding out that Lamar was basically average or something like that his whole career after those 4 games. And Lamar commented back and just said, "Say less." I think I'm pretty wrong on that, but it was something along those lines where he said something really stupid on Twitter, and Lamar was just like, "Say less, dude. Like, I got you." So I think he's going to bring it. He's struggled against Pittsburgh in his career. I think he's ready to rock and roll, hurt or not. I think he's going to try and turn it up to another level. Hopefully, it doesn't mean that he tries too hard, but I'll go with him for the offensive guy. I think he's going to have we'll say 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, 21 yards rushing with a touchdown. And then I'll go defensive. I'm going to go TJ Tampa with a
Okay.
pick six. TJ Tampa.
You like
Score-
Tampa?
I like
He's a-
Tampa a lot.
He's a TJ Tampa guy.
I do too, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's the name, but I like the kid too. I think he's a long, rangy guy, and he could cover very well. He looks physical to me. I feel like he should be playing a lot more than he does, but for some reason I like Tampa too. I love hearing you say that, Zach.
Some guys are just around the football, and it seems like TJ Tampa's always around the football. So
he's a great special teams player too. I pay attention like on punts. That dude is always flying down, knocking somebody out. It's fun watching him play football.
Yep. So
you made Wilcox's night because he loves TJ Tampa.
I like him a lot too. I'll go. I think it's going to be a dog fight, but I'm going to do 31-27 Ravens.
Okay. That sounds like a Pittsburgh Ravens game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Rodgers is getting one of them stupid ass Hail Marys somehow.
Is Rodgers even playing?
Probably not, but somebody will find a way to throw a Hail Mary.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Mason Rudolph this week.
I think so. But if it's Mason Rudolph, we'll pencil this in about 31-10 then.
You know what I'm afraid of? I know before Wilcox goes, I'm afraid that if Mason Rudolph plays and we knock his block off, and Will Howard comes in from Ohio State, and we have a whole second Ben Roethlisberger type situation.
Don't even put that in the universe.
Don't
do it.
It's just, I mean, Wilcox was there for the first one, so
yeah, I was too, sitting in section 503.
Thanks, Matt.
No problem.
No problem.
No problem. Wilcox, go ahead and give your predictions. I'm sorry.
Well, I tell you, you a horrible friend, bro.
What?
You're a horrible friend, bro. As soon as this podcast is over, I'm calling your mom. All right, offense.
My mother again.
Shut up, man. Shut up. Offense. I'm gonna go with on offense. I'm gonna roll with the tight ends again. I think they're gonna have a big game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm gonna go with Isaiah Likely. So I'm gonna pick two guys for that. I like to do that sometimes, Zach. I just pick two guys because, shit, it's our show. I mean, what people tell us, right? Likely, and then Andrews on offense, and then on defense, Andrews just got engaged too, guys. So he just got engaged, got that big contract. So I think my boy gonna be playing really well. His fiance probably don't really hook them up. You know what I mean? Took care of the guy. Defense, I'm gonna go with the alien, the AT alien. I'm gonna go with Kyle Hamilton again. I feel like Hamilton gonna step up big this game. We got to have some defensive leadership on this team. I just haven't seen much of it, as far as just being very vocal and being able to push these guys in the right direction. I know Roquan has tried, and he's tried to be that vocal voice for him, but to me, it just haven't seemed like it's working. I can't wait to see somebody else kind of emerge that spot to kind of really take us to the next level. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Hamilton on defense, and then on as far as score prediction, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be very high. I would love to see us come out pissed off and play the way we should and beat shit out the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nothing would make me more happy. Build boys at Fine's house, Steelers fan. So the goal and all that. And the whole time I was thinking about, I'm terrible. So 28 Ravens, and I'm going to say 28-24 Steelers. Ravens 28, Steelers 24. Go ahead, Matt. What you got?
28-24 Ravens?
Yep.
Is that what you got? Okay.
That's what I got.
Let's see. Offensive player of the game, I'm going to go DeAndre Hopkins. I think the matchups are going to favor him well. I think he goes for 3 catches and a touchdown. I think he makes, the most of them. I'm not going to say it's a 100-yard game or anything. But DeAndre Hopkins on offense, I'm going to go with D-Hop. Shout out to Trippy. He picked D-Hop also in the comments.
I saw that.
Defensively, I am going to say this is going to be another Draymond Jones game. I'm going to go with Draymond again. I went with him a couple weeks ago. I was successful. He had 2 sacks, so I'm going to pick Draymond Jones again.
Okay.
Final score prediction, I'm going to go 31-17 Ravens.
31-17.
I'm sticking to your rule, Wilcox. Hold them under 21, you win the game.
That's it, baby. That's it. For some reason, I don't feel like they're going to stop these boys this week. I don't know why. I just got a vibe. I don't know what's going to happen, man. All I know is that Tomlin's on fire, Harbaugh's on the fire. Hell, everybody's on the fire. Both teams are 6-6, sucks ass and look great at times. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a very weird game, I think. And I just hope we don't have the 5 turnovers we had last week. We got to win the turnover battle, win the field position battle, and win the time of possession battle. If we smart, we win the time of possession just by running the damn ball. If we smart.
Run the ball. These guys cannot stop the run.
Did you guys know that Pittsburgh is the worst second half defense in the NFL?
See, that's why I like having you on this show. He's full of.
Yeah, so they've allowed 431 plays in the second half of games so far this year, and they've allowed 7.9 yards per play, which is also league worst. They've given up the 3rd most yards at 2,400 with a 69% completion percentage. So if we don't absolutely demolish the Steelers at home, I think a lot of questions need to start being asked. Damn. A lot louder than they're being asked right now.
I agree. Like I think there's some things that need to change. But I said this at the break when we was 1-5. Some heads need to roll, and somebody need to get the rolling them heads. I would definitely cut a coach or fire some damn body if I was Harbaugh. But I think Harbaugh got to save his own ass in some way. I don't know how he's going to pull this shit off, but I think he tried to do the right thing. By hiring somebody that he brought in as a player and putting him as the D coordinator, Zach Moore. And we crashed and burned so much last year and this year. It's like, all right, how much time you gonna keep giving them? And Matt knows how I feel about players being hired. I love the fact that we get hired. I love the fact that we get these opportunities because who's better than us to get these opportunities? So I just feel like it was a great pick by having him there, but I also thought it was a horrible pick by letting Weaver go. Weaver to me was in a better position to be our DC than Zach Moore
I banged on the table for Weaver, man, and I love Weaver. I loved him as a player. When Weaver was our Weaver was our defensive line coach in 2023, that was the year we had 60 sacks up front, and that was the year that Van Noy had a career year, Clowney had a career year, Matt Abike had a career year, and that was all with Anthony Weaver coaching the defensive front, the front 4. Those guys were getting after everybody.
Zach, this is one of the things that kind of confuses me because one of the things I liked about Harbaugh when he first came in, he went to the guys that were 30 and over. I was one of those guys at the time. Shut up, Matt. And he went to the guys and he asked us.
I didn't even say nothing.
He asked us. Your face is red right now. I knew you was about to say something. It was boiling inside of you. He actually came to the older guys and wanted to know our opinion about the coaching staff that he hired. And I was really impressed by that. So I liked Harbaugh instantly because I wanted to keep my coach, Wade Harmon, the best coach I ever had. I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in Tampa. I've been in New York. I've been over in Germany playing. Wade Harmon is the best coach I've had since I've been in the NFL. Like, please, if you're going to get rid of the whole offensive staff, retain Wade Harmon, and he kept him. He kept Wade, and I love that about him, and I felt like if he would have stayed that guy, then there's no way Weaver wouldn't have been a DC because he would have went to these players and asked them who they thought on the staff that needed to be upgraded. It would have probably picked Weave, so it hurts me that he probably wasn't that same guy in the year 10 or 12 or 14, whatever it was, or 15, whatever it was, when they make the decision to hire Zach. I wish he had took that time to talk to the players and let them be a huge part of that decision making, which I think is the players' team at the end of the day. And what people don't understand, we're all grown ass men. This is not like college. It's not like high school. These are all grown ass men that could be head coaches right now too if they weren't playing football. So you're not talking to guys that are not sharp, the guys that are not smart, that are not educated. You're talking to guys that's been playing this game since they was 5, 6, 7 years old, and here they are at the highest level, and they've been coached by some of the best coaches in high school, college, and and now in the pros. So to be able to go to guys in the league 8, 9, 10 years and bounce around different teams and had a chance to be coached by Andy Reid or Rex Ryan or Brian Billy or Harbaugh or it coaches in this league. So to be able to pick these guys' brains, I think would have been very smart by him. I don't think Zach Moore would have been the consensus from the players.
Or, Eric could have put John Harbaugh in the front office 2 years ago, and we could have had Mike McDonald, and this wouldn't even been a goddamn problem.
Where would you put Harbaugh?
Yeah, I would just giving him like an office. I really did like a Saban thing where you just kind of like have him hang around but not be the guy. Just because I don't think they're ever going to fire him, Wilcox. No. We've talked about this plenty of times.
I think that's kind of weird, though. I think that's kind of weird to have him hanging around. Like,
I mean,
it's no longer his show no more. How do you come from being the guy that runs that's just kind of in the background, just sitting there watching somebody else?
I think he's a lifer, though. I think he's just one of those Ravens lifers. I mean, with all due respect, I mean, Ozzie and Eric are Ravens lifers.
Oh, because of Eric. That's why you're saying that. Because him and Eric are best friends, and they live right next door, and they go golfing together.
They do all that shit, I mean, it's well known, and amongst the Ravens fans, but like, there was a way that you could have, like, seeing Mike McDonald's success in Seattle right now. I know they're not the best team in football, but he's got that defense playing lights out, and he's getting a lot from a lot of guys that were there under the previous regime that weren't producing, and it's like under McDonald, our defense was incredible. That was the same defense where Weaver was the defensive line coach and Orr was the linebackers coach.
Right.
I just feel like McDonald is always going to be the one that got away for us in this generation of Ravens football.
You think he asked Mike McDonald when he left, who should he hire as the DC?
I think he did. I think he probably, and I'm pretty sure McDonald vouched for Orr because I'm not going to say with 100% certainty, but if we gave the defensive coordinator spot to Weaver, I think Orr is on his staff in Seattle right now.
Got you.
It might not be defensive coordinator, but I think that McDonald, he had that kind of relationship with Zach. I mean, Weaver wanted to be a defensive coordinator. That's why he went to Miami.
Right. He applied for the position.
Right. And to be honest, I thought that Weaver should have gotten the head coaching job instead of David Culley with the Texans years ago. Because I mean, if they set up Culley, that's a whole different conversation for another show. But I just believe that there's a lot of head coach potential coaches that have coached under Harbaugh, and we didn't keep the right ones because this Harbaugh thing is getting stale. And I'm not trying to be negative, and I've been negative plenty on this show.
Right. If you're going to be negative, now's the time.
But when is enough? It's like willingly getting punched in the face and knowing that you're about to get your ass handed to you for another round, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go out here and get hit in the head again. I'm gonna go here and get my eye socket crushed again for the sake of just doing it. Zach, I know that you are not a hardball guy.
No, not even close.
Wilcox. Zach has been biting his tongue since this conversation came up because
I might be the biggest hardball hater in Baltimore.
Yeah,
I legitimately, I'll admit it. And John from Jimmy Seafood asked me one time, he's like, why? I was like, John, I really don't even know. I think it's his face. It's just something about his face. I just don't like it.
Matt loves his face.
Well, no, because I had this thing where when we had our 5-game losing streak, I changed my profile picture to a different dumbass look of Harbaugh looking up at the fucking scoreboard every single week. It pissed me off to no end. No end. And
I can reenact almost all of them.
yeah,
What the hell is
You see him at least 3
shit.
times every primetime game.
Yeah, this is dumb. This what minute
Did he
mark
get
is
it on
it?
fourth
Hour
down?
mark. This is going on TikTok. Yeah, for sure.
All right, I have bad news for you guys. I've been sitting here looking the whole time.
Go ahead, Zach.
We suck at running offense at home. Like
We
bad.
do.
We're 28th in the league at first downs in home games. Now, granted, Lamar's only played 4 of the 7, and he's done okay, but 28th in first downs, and we are 26th in yards per game and rushing at home, which is horrible, in my opinion. And they average only 280 yards a game total offense, which is 27th.
That is
Yikes. That is bad.
Hmm.
And when you look at it, Lamar's got 7 touchdowns, 1 pick at home in 4 games, but he's been sacked 16 times in 4 games at home.
That's not
I
including
wish you could figure out
QB hits.
those Pelele's.
And all he's played now, granted, he's played Cleveland, Detroit, the Jets, and Cincinnati. He's only played one and a half good defenses. We'll say Detroit's a half a good defense.
But,
Cleveland's really good though.
I mean, their defense looked fucking phenomenal that night. I was at the game and I was watching Aiden Hutchinson abuse everybody wearing a purple jersey that night. It was awful.
That's why I said half, because they haven't really been very good against everybody else.
Yeah, but we're the exception this year. Like this,
Right? We always are.
And then Myles Garrett was a half second from 5 sacks against us.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is that Aaron Glenn was a D coordinator at Detroit before he went to the Jets. So he took that defense from Detroit that was really fucking good last year and the year before, and the year before that, and he took that defense to the Jets. So even though the Jets don't have the studs that Detroit had when Aaron Glenn was there, they still got a fucking great defense, a coordinator mind as a head coach, which is probably why we didn't look very good against them at all.
Do you guys want to guess how many first
They're going to be really
passing
good.
we have in home games?
How many first down passing?
5
total in the season. 7 games.
5.
Damn, they ain't that bad. It's above 40. I'll give you that.
We got more than 40? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You just shocked Wilcox.
So they have 59, which is ranked 26th.
That's insane, man.
Chargers have the most at 104.
If you was our OC, Zach, let's play devil advocate. If you was the OC for the Baltimore Ravens and you had to pass the ball on third down, who would you throw the ball to?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
On a crossing route, across the middle. Not these deep routes that take 6 freaking seconds to get everybody moving around and crossing and this and that while Falalele is falling over and running into Linderbaum. You just don't have time to do that. Like, you got to get, like, how many times have we watched Bateman take a 2-yard slant to the house? We haven't seen that once yet this year.
Yeah.
You know, Zay, the same thing. Zay's uncoverable, in my opinion, over the middle. Like, he's so twitchy and so fast. It doesn't matter who you put on him. All he needs is one step. How often is Zay is really going over the middle? It's not much.
Right.
Everything they're running is 8 to 10 yards, 12 to 15 yards sometimes. Like, I understand Lamar's got the arm to drive it down the field, but
he was.
Oh, dude, it's
I was talking to Matt about the same thing.
infuriating. Infuriating. Like,
Matt, who you throw the ball to on third down if you was the OC?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Ditto.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna run Zay across the middle like Zach said, DeAndre Hopkins is gonna be matched up on either a safety or a nickel, and you just throw. His catch radius is absurd.
10 feet.
Yeah, it's been proven.
You can make a mistake and he's going to catch it.
Yeah, as long as you don't throw the ball in the dirt, he's going to catch it.
Right. And he might find a way to kick it to himself somehow.
Yeah, he's the best hands on the team. You ask me. Like, in third down and short or third down and long, I'm trying to figure out a way to get D-Hop the ball every single time because I feel like he's smart enough, he's savvy enough, he's been around long enough, and he's fucking almost 100 with every throw thrown his way. He's gonna find a way to make the
Right.
most ridiculous catch possible if you throw it to him. And once you put him in that position on third, it's coming to you. He gonna be even dialed in and tuned in even more. You know, so I think D Hop would be the one for me. I think Zay is definitely to me. Zay is a double move guy. Like anytime you want to do a double move, Zay is the guy. And it don't have to be a downfield move. It could be a shallow cross like you was just talking about, Zach. You know, because they got the Zorro route where you go, you hezzy, and then you can go across, hezzy, and then stutter, and then go back, you know, the other way. You know, there's ways that you can get him the ball. And I agree with the slant situation. John Gruden was notorious for throwing slants over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know, like it's one of the hardest routes to stop. When you got somebody as twitchy, as smart as D Hop, and as clever as Bateman is, I mean, I don't know why we don't throw slants a lot more. And those are balls that get out of Lamar hands extremely fast. That's a
fast.
Right. That's a 3-step drop. That's a 3-step drop throw. You know, if you're in shotgun, it's a catch and toss.
If you do that, do that though, Wilcox, doesn't that open up corner routes for the tight ends on the seam? See, you know, hit the seam.
Usually, if you throw a lot of slants, it open up wheel routes.
Yeah,
you know, because that's normally what comes off of slants is flat routes on the inside, slants on the outside. Right. So those flats turn into wheels. So you can run wheels out of the backfield with running backs, with guys like Keaton Mitchell, you know, and then you can run your wheel routes for Isaiah Likely's and stuff like that. 100%.
Yeah, it just.
But you make people respect the short throw. You kind of nickel and dime on depth. That's what Brady did his entire career. You know, you got to have a patient quarterback to do it and a patient OC to do that. And you just taking what they give you, basically. You know, I don't think I've ever seen us line up in 4 wides at all.
I don't. Yeah, going through these comments now, man. We've never had a Steelers fan like actively tune in, and he made he just said that, you know, he thinks that we have to worry about number 80 on their offense. And I'll tell you this:
the tight end,
Darnell Washington is 6'8" and 310 pounds. He's a left tackle that can catch the ball.
He's starting to really play like his size. He wasn't playing that way, but now this year he's starting to really show up on field. Yeah, he's starting to really show up on field.
Wilcox, you have a vote for offensive coordinator.
Thanks, KT. I appreciate you, bro. I'm down. I already got my staff right here. I got Zach. I got Matt. Shit, we got this shit.
I'm pretty good, Madden. I'm just saying.
So high.
Yeah, I can't play Madden worth shit. But
That's
I tell you
crazy,
what I will do. I tell you what I will do. I will put Auburn's guys. This shit is not rocket science. Like, who's their worst DB? Let's get our best receiver on him every fucking play. You know, and we'll shift motion, move his ass till he get to him, and they can do about it.
It's funny that you say that, because what did Cincinnati do? They shift in motion to where the guy that runs a 4.3 40 lined up on Roquan Smith
and torched him.
Why don't we do that?
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's what made John. That's what everybody say. John Gruden is this offensive genius. That's what made him an offensive genius. He found a way to get our best guy on their worst guy every single play, and no matter what. He found out that what their defense was going to do, they was going to line up in cover 3, cover 4, cover whatever, and then they was going to find a way to get our best guy on their worst guy.
Who's blocking TJ?
Who's blocking him? Hopefully 7 guys.
I know, right?
The TJ Watt can get blocked by the turf monster.
Hopefully.
TJ Watt is going to have a day, because we do not do a good job as an offensive staff of making sure we double their best guy. Like, he needs to get chipped every fucking play, cracked every single play, bumped every single play. We don't have an offensive tackle. Not even Stanley. To me, you should put on him every single play and think he's going to shut him down. He's that good. He get paid too. Stanley get paid. He gets paid. You know, Rosengarten can't block TJ Watt every play. You have to put a tight end to help chip, a running back to help chip him, and put him on him so that he don't have a free release every single time, so that he can sit hard on the inside.
That just feels like Kolar and Ricard should be on him, like double team
all game. Yeah, all game
long.
Like, you should have somebody chipping them. After they chip, they leak into the
wear his ass. Just wear him out the entire game.
Yep.
And you let him rush the field up hard, and then screen game his ass to death. Throw it over his head, throw it around him. You know,
when's the last time we ran a screen?
Yeah, you
We
got
run
great running backs for
wide
screens.
bubble screens about 6 times a game, but that's about it.
You do with Zay Flowers.
I'm talking
and
about a
Taylor.
halfback screen. I'm talking about
With
Go
Keith
up the middle,
Mitchell.
turn around about a 4
Keith
5
Mitchell
yard
dropped
and
one,
turn
didn't he,
around.
for an interception? When they one of Lamar's interceptions this year?
yeah, that's
Keith Mitchell
true.
dropped. That was a screen.
Run it again. Who
Yeah,
cares?
I know, right? Come right back to that shit. That's what you're supposed to do as a good coach.
Andy
He
Reid would do
that
it.
shit. Let's come back to him. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you, Zach. Shit.
Cam
Andy Reid
Hayward's
was there.
40 years
But
old.
I mean,
Don't say
dude,
that.
you can run
Don't say that.
with tight ends too.
You can run with
Isaiah
anybody.
will be a great screen tight end. He'll be a
He
great
would
tight
if he,
end,
you
tight
know.
end to
But the
use for
thing is,
screens.
he needs to stop holding the ball like he's showing everybody what he's got in his hand,
All right, Matt.
like
All
a
right,
like
Matt.
a
Come on,
5-year-old,
man.
like that
Hey,
just
Matt,
stole
Matt,
something off
Matt,
the
Matt,
TV.
Matt. That's enough
I'm
of that.
talking
All right,
my
that's enough
shit.
of that.
I'm
There's
talking
one
my
bad
shit.
play. All right, that's one bad play. Let's not do that. We're talking about tight end life right now. All right. So if a tight end get a chance to act like he a receiver every now and then, let the man live a little bit. He fucked up. All right, he'll come back. He'll be back.
Hey, our wide receivers drop the ball at the end zone too. I mean,
Thank you.
They just do it in playoff games. I mean, shit.
Hey, Zach, you're 100% right, bro. Like, hell, Isaiah likely did exactly what Zay Flowers did in the AFC Championship game by trying to dive across the end zone, the ball out, and got knocked out of his hand. I guarantee Zay went to Isaiah and said something to him after that game. Bro, you should have learned from my mistake.
He makes a good point. Yeah. He's worried about Derrick Henry because if my memory serves me correctly, the last time Derrick Henry played against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Patrick Queen did a Olay, bull move where
ole.
He didn't want no part of that shit.
No, but check this out though. Why would you worry about Derrick Henry when they just gonna give him the ball the first drive and not give it to him to the fourth quarter? So if he only gonna get 7-8 carries a game, like let him get his 7-8 out the way right now. Just give him the first down and get his ass off the field.
I want to say
that's what I would do.
Wilcox, that you were talking about what we would do as offensive coordinators, and Zach and I talked about this. You and I talked about this separately.
Right.
If I am the Ravens offensive coordinator, the first drive against Pittsburgh, I'm running Derrick Henry 7 or 8 times. I'm running him, and then when they're starting to stack the box and they start to get tired, immediately you have a 7-8 minute first drive. That's when you bring in Keaton and start running toss plays, or you start running. The one play that we need to get rid of completely is the jet sweep. That shit sucks. Nobody on the team can do it, and it's horribly executed because 77 gets pushed back into a 6'8", 380-pound man gets pushed back by somebody 5 inches shorter and 100 pounds lighter. It pisses me off consistently. But
it's called leverage, Matt.
I know what it's called,
ahead.
but
I'm sorry.
still,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
I know what it's called. I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. I know what it's called.
I mean, James Harrison did that every single game for fucking 10 years in Pittsburgh. He was the tallest guy out there, the lightest guy out there, and he would forklift got daggone tackles because he was shorter than them and stronger. So, what's your point?
That Falele looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
He does. That motherfucker he's been a pain in our ass all year. I'm with you 100%.
Zach Wilcox has a famous saying that he's been saying on this show for 2 years. You can hide one bad offensive lineman with 4 good ones, but you can't hide 2 bad ones with 3 good ones. And
100%.
And McCary, the drop off from McCary to Voorhees has been astronomical.
Yeah,
because McCary was good enough to play all 5 positions, but never really started one until last year. And the drop.
Why would you let him go? Why would you let him go?
Jacksonville gave him $35 million.
Yeah,
for 3 years.
Give him 36. He's all 5 positions. He's not.
Now you're playing Madden with the cap space, bud.
I mean, I'm saying you got to do what you got to do. I think if you go to Lamar and say, "Hey, I got to restructure your deal so we can lock in what you call it, McCary," you're gonna need him, buddy. Trust me. You know what I mean? You know, like what would you do? Like we can't give you, 45 next year. But we can give you 20 next year, and then we'll take that other 20 and give it to you 3-4 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he's gonna matter. It's just gonna matter that much. long as I still
Zach,
get my money.
Wilcox wants to structure NFL contracts like the Dodgers structure baseball contracts.
I'd love to.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, it should be.
I mean, it should be all
If you
guaranteed.
want to
These guys
defer
are putting their
something for
lives on the line every
75
day.
years, I don't give a shit. Get it
Yeah.
Yeah,
done.
man. You know, I think we're gonna win this game. I don't have a bad feeling about it. The way
I do.
Wilcox was talking earlier, where you think that something's gonna go. I guess not necessarily wrong, but like you said earlier in the show, Wilcox, we can't have another 5 turnover game. That's for sure. And I know that it's important to get this run game going. I think the best defense to, the best thing for the defense is to keep them off the field. They were on the field 80 plus plays last week. And I know they had
I tried to tell you. I've been telling you this shit for 3 years, Matt. 80 fucking plays, you're supposed to lose, bro. Your defense cannot be on the fucking field for 80 plays. That should need to be as close to 60-60, 60 offense, 60 defense. If 80 on offense and 50 on defense, that's the damn problem. I'm telling you, you're supposed to get your ass whooped.
Do you know how bad we are at blocking?
You are going to piss me off.
Please.
I am
please,
about to really
Zach.
piss you off.
No, you're not going to piss me off because we already know. Go ahead.
We're the 32nd ranked team in the NFL with passing against a 4-man rush with just 1,265 yards and only nine touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
So we pass better when they're throwing the kitchen sink at us, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
It should be the other way around.
Yes.
It is so ass backwards for everything on this goddamn team this year.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, man, like what teams do it. Teams notoriously this is a copycat league. Every single league, every single team is going to watch what another team did. And that team got pressure. They're going to do the same shit against you until you stop it. Once you stop it, then they'll figure out something else. But they're not going to let your ass get away. If somebody rushed 4 all game and they sack your ass 5, 6 times, everybody going to start rushing 4 all game and taking away all your routes and shit and make you hold the ball longer.
I'm remembering the 2018 season where the Chargers were the first team to put 6 DBs on the field against Lamar Jackson to match the speed, and they shut him down. And then everybody started doing it, and then Lamar became a better passer, and they had to figure shit out all over again. And by the time they figured the shit out, Derrick Henry was a Raven.
But you know what? The teams that
I think that's the biggest
has been a linebacker that can run as fast as him, that stands there and spies him.
Yeah.
Because why? Because they don't run crossing routes right at the fucking guy standing there. He's got to move eventually, right? If not, it's a pick. You run his own guy right into that guy, and then you make.
That's why Cleveland drafted JOK. That's why they drafted that dude to mirror
Lamar. Yep.
I mean, he's been very unhealthy the last couple of years. Which
we should blitz the house this weekend. Steelers worst in the NFL against the blitz, 380 yards total.
I would like to see that, but
blitz, we haven't blitzed the house all year.
Yeah, they're only at a 58% completion percentage against the blitz.
I'll take that.
We need to blitz the shit out of them.
So what does that mean? We're probably going to rush 3.
That's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly Zach. I'm telling you, right, man. You fit right in on this show. We might want to just bring you in every damn show, bro. I'm telling you. Now, I'm telling you right now, everything that you've brought up already discussed without the statistics at some point.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Like it's just,
nerd.
Our game plans are fucking weak. Our game plan are weak as hell, week in and week out. Like if one thing I remember is that we always game plan to take out their best player. The best player never supposed to beat you. Every single week, the best player have to have a Pro Bowl game against us. Every single week. It don't matter if we play fucking Oakland Raiders. Matt Crosby gonna get off. We play the fucking Bengals. Fucking what's his name? Hutchinson. He's gonna get off. We played freaking Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett go to hell off. I'm talking about goes off like he's never went off before. It's ridiculous, man. Every single is always gonna get off against us. Chase, Jamar against us. Detroit Lions. Hell, I ain't never seen that many rushing yards put on the Ravens in a single season.
They did
it in one game.
Oh,
yeah, Matt was there.
I was texting. I was so pissed that entire game.
Dog, the dude's nickname are Sonic and Knuckles. You know they good. You don't get those type of nicknames not be good.
Steelers have given up the third most first downs on run plays out of shotgun.
Wow.
Which is what we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they've given up 6 touchdowns, which is also 7th most. So 3rd most first downs, 7th most touchdowns.
Wow.
We'll probably see Lamar under center.
He'll be on the center the whole game, Zach. The whole fucking game.
On that note,
let me ask a question.
No problem.
And this is more directed to Daniel. You have somebody as dynamic as Lamar, and you have another dynamic player like Keaton Mitchell. Why in the hell are they not running pitch plays or option plays, I should say?
They're not set up.
Lamar can run.
Yeah, but when you got a guy like Falele and what is it, Voorhees at your guards. Well, when you run to either one of those sides, you get instant pressure up, and it kills the option. So most of the time you're gonna run the option out of shotgun, out of under center, not out of shotgun. So it kind of kills the pressure.
Option plays, you can block downfield, right? It's not like a passing play.
Yeah, you can, because it's really a run play, and you pitching backwards, not forward.
They're okay at that, right?
Nah,
they're not better at just going straight downfield.
The linemen?
What the fuck? What? Excuse my French. What are they doing on the field?
I don't know, bro. Like, if you go back and you just watch Falele, if you just go Google, just go to YouTube and just type in Falele and just watch some of his plays, what you will see is him diving and missing guys.
I know
when they go forward. Like on the tush push, it was a couple of plays we had. The running back got hit in the backfield. Nobody got blocked because of Falele, and it's too inconsistent, bro. Like, you really setting your guys up for failure. Like, can you imagine like him not blocking somebody and Lamar goes down the line and get his knee blown out?
It's a matter of when at this point.
Yeah, because you
might even have it in practice here shortly.
Right. Yeah, you got to give him at least 5 yards start where he can actually see what's coming at his knees. Because it's not going to work.
Let me ask you a question as a former player for hardball.
Yeah.
He obviously has a love fest with Falele, and he tells you that nobody else on the team is better than him. Does that mean that he's a terrible coach, that they can't develop anyone else? Like, that isn't that part of his job, is to find guys that can develop guys? And if you're telling me you can't develop somebody better than Falele, like, what are you doing here?
This is my whole thing, right? So the reason why I like Mike Tomlin, because he always calls out the thing about coaches. Like, coaches are supposed to coach a guy to fuck up. All right. Falele does not seem like he's been coached to fuck up. Now, Harbaugh his only fault is whoever the O-line coach is. He hired him. That's his fault. Because your O-line coach can get this guy up to speed to play the best that he could possibly play, then it's his fault. If your O-line coach can't find somebody behind him that could push him to make him want to play better, then that's his fault, because it doesn't seem like the guy could do any wrong. Like, it don't matter how bad he plays, he stays in the game week in and week out. He should have a guy back there that's been getting coached up all this time that you should be able to insert, and that guy could give you better effort than what Falele is giving you. So Harbaugh biggest fault to me is that he let his coach's coach. He doesn't ever step in and interfere or say anything. I experienced a situation when I was coaching at Georgia State where our OC didn't like the O-line coach. And the O-line coach I thought was phenomenal. I thought he did a great job. The players would run through a brick wall for him, and they played well for him. The O-line coach, the OC, his dad was this famous coach that had coached somewhere else. And then he would bring that coach in to mess with the O-line over the O-line coach. So it became this weird conflict of interest thing, because your OC is bringing his dad in that was this world famous coach for coaching O-linemen in to work with the O-line coach, and you didn't let the O-line coach, you'll be stepping on his toes trying to tell his guys what to do. And it became this confusion thing, O-line guys, like, who we supposed to listen to, right? So that OC was wrong as hell for doing that, because there wasn't nothing wrong with your O-line coach in the first place. He didn't coach in the way you wanted him to be coached, but he did a phenomenal job coaching these guys, and these guys will run through a brick wall for him to do whatever he wanted them to do. So to me, you leave that alone. So Harbaugh don't interfere at all. He just let the coaches coach. And I think at some point you got to be able to step in, and you got to treat coaches the same way you treat players. They get paid too, right? If a player not playing well and performing well, you usually bench their ass and bring somebody else in. So if a coach is not performing well, you should bench their ass and bring somebody else in. Kind of like you did Zach Moore last year when you brought in Dean Pease, right? So you brought somebody in to help them to be a better version of themselves, and that's what we're not doing. That's what Chuck Smith's role was for the rushers all this time, and now he's one the defensive coaches. But you brought Chuck Smith in just your DNs rush the passer better. So you need to bring somebody in to help these guys teach these O linemen, because whoever the O line coach is, he's not getting it done this year.
I also think Joe D passing was
Yeah, he was good.
He was fantastic.
He was good.
He was very good, and
well respected by the players.
Yes, universally, and I just don't think the Ravens have quite filled those shoes just yet with the offensive line.
Those are big shoes to fill, for sure.
They are, and it's almost like, what route do you? I mean, because it's so odd, because I look around the league, Wilcox, and offensive line is one of the most important positions on the football field. It protects your star. It protects your star players. The games are won and lost in the trenches. It's been said for years, no matter what level.
Starts up front with the Hogs.
You arguably have two of the best offensive linemen of their generation to play football for the Baltimore Ravens, being John Ogden and Marshall Yanda. Now, they don't necessarily scream coach to you, but wouldn't it behoove the Ravens to get their input on who should be an offensive line coach for this team? If it's not going to be Yanda, and J.O. never gives me coach vibes, because he's more, I guess, you play with J.O. and you know J.O. better than most people that speak on it. But those are two Hall of Fame guys. Even though Yanda's not there yet, he's going to be there one day. Wouldn't you consult with the guys that the team drafted? Like, hey, who do you think we need to go talk to about coaching this offensive line? Because
I think it really depends, Matt, like what they're doing since they retired, right? Like, if they're nowhere near football and they don't know any of the coaches out here right now, why would you consult with them about who you hire as a coach? Now, what I would do is pay them some kind of fee to have them come and consult with those positions, those guards, those tackles. Right. I need you guys to come and just talk to these guys, work with these guys, watch film with these guys to help them be better versions of themselves, because you guys are two of the best to ever do it. And you guys are Hall of Famers here and Ring of Honor guys here. For the Ravens, we would love to keep you around the organization any kind of way we can, and helping our younger guys develop would be perfect. I don't know if I would consult with them about coaching, because of the fact they might not know any of the damn coaches in the league that coach O-line right now. They might know none of these guys. So why would you ask them who to hire if they don't have a clue? Now, if you want to bring them in and sit on the interview process with you, and then ask them real questions, have them ask those guys some real O-line questions and see what they say, and then let them take notes and then come back and consult with them later. Yeah, hell yeah, I would do that all day. But I definitely wouldn't let them pick my O-line coach if they're not actually studying each O-line coach throughout the league. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's always, you look at a lot of these, like I know you're pro teams hiring players, former players, retired players. Like that's a cool thing, because not every player is meant to be a coach, and then there's some guys that never really played or started in the league that are exceptional coaches. That being, I know the Saints aren't a good football team right now, but Kellen Moore never started, but he's a excellent football mind.
Right.
So I just always wondered why there wasn't a lot of former offensive linemen that are coaching, because if I'm not mistaken, Mike Tice was a former offensive lineman.
Yeah,
Mike Tice was good, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I'm just thinking.
Tight end. No.
Oh, he was a tight end. Okay. Yeah,
Dan Campbell was.
Yeah.
Mike Tice, I think, was O-line. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always.
Oh, Mike Tice was actually a tight end.
Okay, he wasn't okay. I'm just saying, like, along that line, former players know what
Sam Pittman.
I mean, that's a name right there.
Mike Tice is available, but I do remember him being a really good coach.
He was,
because like the only Wilcox, the only notable offensive line coach that I've ever really heard over the years was Bill Callahan.
Yeah.
And it's just it's always been like a thought in my mind, because I can't speak for a lot of other people, Wilcox, but Zach and I went to the same high school together, and Zach knew all the football coaches. My offensive line coach was Dan Marino's center at Pittsburgh, Mike Dahl.
Mm-hmm.
And then he played for the Indianapolis Colts and blocked for Art Schlichter, and he played for the Kansas City Chiefs for a little while. So, like, I had
Right.
a former pro football player coaching me on the offensive line. And I
Right.
just thought that,
Were
they
you a
know.
dog, Matt?
I like to say I was. Zach can kind of answer that question for you a little bit better than me.
Zach, was he a dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got cut as the kicker.
Damn.
But the thing is, though,
Baseball coach wouldn't let me play.
Yeah,
He
Zach
had me
got
cut.
drafted by the Marlins. Wilcox.
Okay, good shit,
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
Big dog.
Do you remember Mike Munchak?
Yes, Mike Munchak was a good offensive line coach.
He's available.
Yeah, go figure.
You know, he's been helping as a consultant.
Who?
The Rams last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Who have a
Sounds good to me.
fantastic offensive line. Go figure.
I'm trying to tell you right now, like that's what I would do with J.O. and Yonder and those guys. Let them be consultants, man. I'm telling you right now, because that's right now. Chuck Smith used to play for the Falcons. That's on our D line coach right now, coaching the edges. That's how he started with the Ravens. Rex Ryan brought him in to be a consultant. So he just came in and just showed those guys how to pass rush, help them pass rush. So all those guys, he was helping all them pass rush, and now he's a D line coach for the Ravens. So what I'm saying, Matt, what you're saying makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, but it's too much like right. It's exactly why Anthony Weaver is not like a coach here right now, and some other Ravens that play here not. They're like Cordell Brown, like why he's not back helping with special teams and linebackers and shit. I have no idea. So it's a lot of guys that former Ravens players that used to play here and played well, exceptionally well, and are doing extremely well. Even Alan Ricard, you just talked about Alan Ricard, he's coaching too, but you can bring him back to help with Pat Ricard, at the fullback spot. He was a Pro Bowl fullback for you. So it's like when you start to think about these guys that could really help this team out, it's a pride thing and it's a male ego thing. So I'm worried about you coming in doing too well, and then all of a sudden you take my position, or you take my coaching spot, or you're going to take another coaching spot from one of my buddies. And that's what it is, bro. It ain't about winning these games and being the best that you could possibly be. Because if I was Lamar Jackson, I would hate John Harbaugh. You wasted 3 years. I could have won 3 Super Bowls, and this is the 4th.
Yeah.
So if I'm Lamar, I'm like, bro, get this fucking dude out of my face. Like I'm just keeping it 100 with you right now. Like if I'm Lamar and you pay me all this damn money to be here, and you went and brought all these guys around me, and then you went and hired the OCs that you hired to coach somebody that they've never seen play before in their life, or coach somebody they've never coached before in their life. You need to bring in somebody that's coached guys like me to come in and coach me, or guys that could play the game the way I played the game and be able to coach me. Like even T. Martin, having T. Martin on staff was huge, I thought, for the Ravens, but I don't think they're using them the right way. They probably don't want to hear shit he got to say. He probably just there to do what he got to do to keep the room brown enough where I don't know. But they probably don't want to hear shit he got to say.
It seemed like he was really, really active last year. Always around Lamar, like talking to him, had the clipboard. This year, you just don't see him.
Not intimidating.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it'd be ego. Mike was like, man, he got too much airtime, or he's talking too much. Every time I turn on Ravens Wired, his ass is talking. I don't want to hear that shit no more. I got to move this guy out the way. He mess around and take my position. You just never know. NBA shit like that does happen. These guys are very threatened by former players that have the players' ear, have players' respect. It's super threatened. I dealt with it myself. So I'm telling you, it's real.
It's funny you mentioned T. Martin, because with the year Lamar had in 23 and 24, I thought for sure Martin would have been get offensive coordinator somewhere. I feel like he would be innovative. And he's another guy like I was just talking about, where he wasn't a full-time starter in the NFL, but he's got a really good football mind, and he's been on multiple coaching staffs over the years, and it just doesn't add up. And one of these comments is bothering the shit out of me. Joe,
which one?
Saying that we went to St. Joe. Where'd you go? Were you a peasant of the plantation, or were you one of the fucking douchebags at Calvert Hall?
What?
Like, come on. I love you, Joe, but no.
Is it a school called Plantation?
No, Loyola Blakefield's on an old plantation, so we call them peasants of the plantation.
Got you. I was about to say, God damn. Damn.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Yeah, that bothered me. That's been eating at me for about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's been a hell of
Yeah.
a show, man. I need to go get my ass in the
Yeah.
shower for sure. But it's been a hell of a show. Zach, we got to have you on
Yeah,
more often, bro.
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Maybe we need to get you a part of this show or something. So
Sounds
this
good.
thing going even more. But I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Matt, it's a hell of a show, bro. I think
Absolutely.
today, this is definitely our longest show to date. Zach, great job, buddy. Way
Yeah,
to keep us on the line.
absolutely.
Another 35 minutes. You know, so I hope everybody enjoyed it tonight. I'm glad we got a bunch of great comments and stuff. We still got to start doing that show, Matt, where we kind of answer some of the questions that people ask. I think that's important for us to do too.
We'll definitely get on that.
You know, even if it's just a
Yeah.
5-minute segment.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll
just
definitely
answer
do
some of the questions.
some mailbag questions.
Yeah,
You know.
let's do that for sure.
Matt,
Thank
you
you.
like that text I just sent you
Yeah, I saw Derek Carr might come out of retirement.
for the Jets? Why would you even come out of retirement? Are your kids bothering you that bad?
I mean,
Good
hey,
Lord.
Phillip Rivers played for 18 years, so
Fuck them
I mean,
kids.
you have 10 kids, like you gotta feed them somehow for a while.
yeah.
Oh,
But
man.
that'll do it for the show. Thank you everybody for participating in this episode. Steelers week is always fun. It's my favorite week of the year to do the show. You know, just to hear the insights. A lot of good comments, you know, especially from Steelers Nation, you know, coming through. Respectfully, of course. They're no ill will comments or anything. Zach, thank you for joining the show on short notice, man. I really appreciate you giving us an hour and a half of your time. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you on social media, Zach, because you have a very, very successful Baltimore Orioles centric TikTok and YouTube show.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Pretty much every social media website, PigTownSports. If you're into baseball, just give me a follow. I'm a stat nerd, so I throw some football stats out there at times as well.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Great job.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, the comments are still flying in like crazy. As always, you can find me on mtrigwbp on X. I'm building my new channel on there, or my new handle on there, because I got hacked. I don't know. I'm still bitter. mtrig89 on. Oh my God, no!
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's because you sent them to me.
You answered that one DM and says, "Hey, you look familiar. Do we know each other?"
Nope. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm gonna be sleeping on the fucking couch. Thank you. mtrig89 on Instagram. You can hit me on Facebook at Matt Trigger and Wilcox. Where can everybody find you, being a video sharing connoisseur?
You can find me on Coach Wilcox on X, and then at Daniel Wilcox on IG. And please do not forget to like, subscribe, follow, turn your notifications on the We Bleed Purple podcast on YouTube. All right. Turn in, turn up, Bird Gang out. Let's do this.
There we go.